Yeah, sorry, Mom. I'm a big sucker. Is it too late now to say sorry? Mom, I was too scared to tell you in person, so what better way to tell you in a YouTube video? This is Coach, and we adopted him from a girl I work with who is a certified rescuer with ASPCA. If you don't know about ASPCA, I will link them down below. They're an amazing animal rescue organization that I absolutely love. And I was really happy that I knew someone that worked directly with them and was certified in rescuing, and it wasn't just a random getting a kitten from, a pet store or just from a litter. So this is Coachy, and he's a lover. So for those of you who don't know, the reason why I'm saying I'm sorry, family, was because I actually have another cat named Razia. Here's her picture, I'll put it right here. She is my Egyptian goddess, and she actually lives with my mom now. And now my sister, so my family, they take care of her back in Ohio. I got Razia when I was in college. She's an indoor-outdoor cat. When I got a job in New York, I didn't want to take her from that because I knew we would have a small apartment and I would be moving around and not being there. My mother was our saving grace. Took her in, but I do in the future plan on getting her back, but now it's been about 2 years and it's kind of a fight with my mom because she's fallen in love with her too, so we'll see kind of what happens there. But I do miss her and I can't wait for Coach and Razia to meet. Sorry, Mom, I'm a big old sucker. So the reason for this video, one, I wanted to tell my mom and my family that I adopted a cat, but also my channel, it's obviously a traveling channel and I love to travel, and so there's kind of this moral tug and pull of traveling and not really having a settled home, but also wanting to be settled and wanting to own animals. Next to my dream and passion of traveling, almost equally is owning a farm and having all of these animals. I'm a Gemini. I have so many personalities and passions, and I want to try and do everything all at once all the time. So that's where a lot of this conflict comes into play for me. Traveling versus animals. If you are struggling with the same thing as I do, I have a few tips and things to think about. So if you're a traveler but you really want animals, you really need to think about it. Just dive down in. You have to have some foresight into your own personal life. Questions to ask yourself are, where do you see yourself in the near future and long term? What are you doing right now? Why do you feel like you need an animal right now? When do you think a better time would be for you? Do you have any trips planned at the moment? Do you have any dream trips that you want to get done within a certain time frame? Are you in school? Are you not in school? Do you live alone? Do you have a partner? Where are you living? All of these things you really need to think about. I got Razia when I was in college and I just got back from South Korea. I was so lonely. I just felt so hollow because I just got back from this extraordinary, life-changing, personality-changing trip, and I was suddenly alone. I had been thinking for a while, a little bit, that I wanted a cat or wanted an animal, and so I basically went to the pet store because at the pet store in my university area, cats with the local shelter there, and all of the cats actually had been adopted. I went back home, looked on Pet Finder, found Razia, her picture. I contacted the woman. She got back to me 30 minutes later. I was at her house and meeting Razia for the first time and just fell in love with her. And I told her I would adopt her. And then I went back to the pet store and they were like, whoa, what the heck, you found a cat already? And I was like, yeah. And then I got all my supplies, went back out, picked her up, and literally an hour later I had a cat. And so there wasn't a lot of thinking that went involved. It just was very, very spontaneous and on a whim. I was very, very, very lucky that I have family that were so open to taking her. I mean, they kind of gave me a hard time about it, but now they love her, so I don't want to hear about it no more. Don't do what I did when it came to adopting Razia. I didn't know I was going to be moving to New York at the time, but again, I didn't think about the future. Putting her up for adoption was totally out of the question. And so yeah, that's my tip number one. really think about it before you take the plunge. In my opinion, cats are easier to take care of than dogs, and there are a lot of reasons for this. Dan and I are actually dog sitters here in New York. We do that for a little bit of extra income a month. It is night and day to how you take care of a cat to how you take care of a dog. And I've grown up with dogs, not in an apartment environment, that's for sure. So taking care of other people's animals, other people's dogs has been really enlightening. A dog is a lot of the times, you know, a pretty large animal. They have a lot of energy. They need to be taken outside to use the restroom and go on walks and things like that. They typically need a lot more of attention, where cats kind of just hang out, don't need to go outside. They have a litter box in the apartment. These are things that you can pitch to your friends and family to help you take care of them if you have a long-term traveling trip coming up, or even just short-term. When it comes to a dog, you have to pay someone a lot of money. I mean, we charge a decent amount to, you know, watch these dogs because it takes a lot of work. Whereas with a cat, if I'm going somewhere and Dan's not here, I just give my friend my house key and I'm like, just go like check in on him every once in a while. Like, you can leave food out. It's just very easy, and that's easy way to pitch to a friend to help you out in a time of need if you're going out on a trip. Long story short, only get an animal if you are 100,000% sure you've really thought about it. You have a backup plan with family, friends, having, you know, a sublet come into your apartment if you're leaving for long term, you know, have them be 100,000% okay with having your animal here, taking care of your animal, and trusting them with your animal. If you know in your gut, if you have like long-term traveling plans, or if you want to be nomadic, you know, maybe having that animal is not in the cards for you. If you don't see yourself settling down within the near future, having an animal at that moment is probably not the best idea, because that's not fair to you being separated from them. It's not fair to the animal being either moved around or, you know, with random strangers here all the time, because they're, you know, a living being too. They have stress, anxiety, etc. So you really need to take that into consideration. And you also don't want to deal with, if it comes down to it, having to put that animal up for adoption, because I can't even imagine the pain that ensues. And I am just really grateful and thankful for my family, who I know who are taking such good care of Razia. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. Those were kind of the only things that came to mind really quick. So if you have any other tips about traveling versus animals, or traveling with animals back home, please let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more. Yeah, sorry, Mom, about not telling you sooner. Like I said, I was kind of worried what you would say. I'm curious of what you other fellow travelers would say about adopting an animal in parallel with having the passion to travel. So let me know, and please subscribe, like, share this video, and I'll see you later, guys. Bye, Kochi. Bye. He's over it. Bye. And I also completely forgot to explain if I felt ready to adopt another animal, and the answer is yes. I did feel 100,000% okay with adopting another animal. I know I'm a sucker. It was something that Dan and I were talking about for a while, and we felt that our future plans were okay to support an animal. If you do decide to adopt an animal, please adopt. There's so many shelters out there. I know for sure you have a local shelter, so please go check that out. I used Pet Finder to find Razia. She was being fostered at a very loving home, and of course we adopted Kochi here from my good friend who works directly with a shelter. There's so many animals out there that really need loving homes. Like I said, I'm going to link ASPCA down below. They're one of my favorite organizations. If you get a cat there that's ages 3 or older, it's free. You know, they're always spayed and neutered with their vaccinations and everything. Please adopt. It's, you know, it's a really magical feeling when you get to adopt an animal. So that's my biggest recommendation for when you are 1,000% ready to have an animal.